Hi, I'm Shannon Biszantz with West USA, and today, the end of the day, end of a work day, I'm enjoying the beautiful Arizona sunsets, just gorgeous over the White Tank Mountains. This is a video on bulletproofing your listing, and every sale, every escrow is extremely different, and we always learn. I mean, even at 22 years in the business and how many I've done in multiple states, you still learn on each situation, make a mental note, okay, won't do that again, so forth. So today we're going to talk about the inspections that happen. So you have a deal, a buyer that's buying your home, and I'm always addressing the seller on this. That's why it's called bulletproofing your listings. So you got a buyer. You've agreed to go into escrow. Escrow periods happen. Buyers have seen the home, hopefully. That's another one in resort communities. Never accept a deal if your buyer has not seen the home. It's so common where in resort living communities like here in the Grand, you know, people are in Denver, New York, Florida looking to buy here, so they tell their agent, you know, if you find this particular floor plan, this orientation, just call me. And then, you know, they'll rush to put an offer and then, you know, fly in later. But remember, when you get an offer, remember the clock starts ticking and you've got those 10 days for the buyer to do all the inspections and get everything done. And then ask the seller for any repairs that they would like to be fixed. So number one, bulletproofing your listing, don't accept offers from people who physically haven't seen the house. If they're actually really interested in the home and they're putting in an offer, they've got the 10 days. So, you know, recommend that they fly down the next 24 hours, 48 hours before you accept the offer to look at the house and make a decision on the visual of the house. Another one I want to talk about is inspections, okay? I normally don't want to put two topics in a video, but this time I'm going to. So in inspections, so now you've got the accepted offer, you're physically in escrow, and then the buyer has 10 days to do all the inspections that they want. Usually in here that would be a regular general inspection, then probably a termite inspection, maybe a roof inspection, if there's a pool inspection, especially a pool inspection that knows the pool equipment. That's a really important one. And then maybe a sewer. That happens a lot in other states where the properties are over 50 years old and people like to check the sewer line from the house to the street, but I don't really feel a reason for that type of inspection, especially in the Grand, in the newer developments at this point. Okay, so now that I've laid out so the buyer has a choice of the inspectors. They actually can pick the inspectors that are going to do these inspections for them because the inspections are the property of the buyer. Very important to know. But like in a situation that I had last week, the buyer's agent, even though the home had been for 15 years or so on a termite contract with a particular company here in the Grand, and they had checked the house for 20 years. The buyer's agent chose an outside termite company. Well, this young man showed up, maybe one of his first jobs. He's doing the termite inspection for the buyer, so you can understand that his motivation is going to be to find something, right? Very interesting. So I've had to take some notes on it as I've done my research on the past couple weeks of what's been going on in the Grand. Year to date, 2026, we have 236 homes that have sold year to date. Remember, I think we were 510 last year, so, you know, we seem to be kind of right on track. You know, the average price in escrow right now is $493,000, so it's a little bit lower. We always like to see if we can get that up into the fives is our average sale price. And then right now we only have 155, I think, properties on the market. So we're going into that slower time in summer where buyers are more deliberate. because they're coming in from other states now in June. They'll start putting their homes on the market in Washington, California, Minnesota. And when those homes go into escrow, those buyers come to Arizona here, to the West Valley, to Surprise in particular, the Grand, and they start buying. So really it starts in June, July, and August where the out-of-state buyers come. I want to talk today about time on market, and that is something that's very interesting. We talk about days on market, which means how many days a property's been on the market, like in Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, you know, the MLS. And I did some stats, and I thought days on market would be a great way to look at the market compared to 2025 and 2024. So the average days on market moved from 71 days. Okay, that was back in 2023, and that was a fairly good year. So we had, you know, our days on market were 71 then. Then in 2024, they moved up to 72. Not a big move, just means one more day the average home was on the market, okay? Now, then in 2024, it increased to 87 days. And all of us realtors knew that that meant that the market was just adjusting a little bit. Buyers were getting pickier, sellers, you know, buyers were looking for homes that were completely done. Then in 2026, we moved down to 86 days on the market year to date. So that's the clearest sign of softening in the recent period, that homes are still selling in the Grand, but, you know, 87 days on the market, and year to date, 86. So hopefully we'll get out of this and we can get that 86 days on the market down into the 70s again, and hopefully in the 60s. You know, gosh, there were times where days on market were like 5 in the Grand years ago. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this Market Snapshot Monday. I know it was a little bit more in detail that you're used to, but I thought today talking about days on market in comparison to where we're at year to date with 156 homes sold, and the average price is $493. I hope you have a great